Hello. Today we have a special guest that I won't introduce. I will let Nicole introduce her. She is very special, and we are extremely grateful to have her in the episode, introducing her to Moroccan community. She's Nicole. I would add any word. Nicole, thank you for accepting the invitation and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Chowki. I'm very happy to be here. So I'll introduce myself to everybody. My name is Nicole Ponce, and I am the influencer marketing manager over at Semrush. I'm not sure if whoever is listening up has heard of Semrush, but we're an online visibility management company that helps you with your content marketing, SEO, paid ads, etc. Everything and anything that you can think of that's going to help your website be boosted and more visible. We're those gals. So I'm really happy to be here and to talk to you guys about influencer marketing, community management, and any questions in between that are brought up.
Awesome. That's perfect. Nicole, we would like to have more information about you as a person. Okay, so we wouldn't. So just I have to mention a caveat that today it wouldn't be like it would be more about an open conversation. We want to talk things over with Nicole. It would like be much more fun. Awesome. So yeah. We'd like to know more about Nicole as the person. Okay.
Wow. So Nicole as a person, that can be a lot of things, right?
No problem.
Well, I'm actually Ecuadorian. My family is from Ecuador.
Ecuador. So
Ecuador.
So you speak English, Spanish?
Yeah, hablo español muy bien. Yeah,
bueno.
No, I can understand French a little bit. So if you speak in French a little bit, I can catch on.
No, vamos a hablar en español.
Si quieres, hablamos en español. It'll be easier. So yeah, and then we moved to Miami when I was 5. So I basically grew up in the States until recently. I just moved to Prague 2 years ago to Europe. The reason being was because honestly, one of my biggest passions was communications, but not just how we communicate in an email, how we communicate on all the social media platforms that we have nowadays, because I feel like we get really segmented on the tone of voice that we have to come across, right? And now, yes, it's definitely a big caveat that it has to be authentic, but we can all be speaking English because it's an international language, but sometimes the message that comes across is not the same one. Yeah. So that was my biggest thing. You know, I living in the States and being from South America, I felt like I really understood the language barrier and how to communicate in different cultures, but I didn't overcome the European culture yet, or like on the other side of the world. You know, the planet is so big.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully I'll do the same with Morocco one day.
You will. Yeah. Moroccan people, they are very easy.
Yeah, are they? I mean, if they have a French as a language, I feel like the culture there would be very easygoing and nice too.
Yes, it's extremely easy.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I moved to Europe, to really understand the culture, how people come across, of course, to make it a bigger thing within my career, but it just had like that traveling bug feeling that I was missing that one step of understanding the world that we live in. I really question everything and anything that comes across. You know, I feel like there is a reasoning behind every way that somebody communicates. It's not just the way they say it, it's also where they come from, how they grew up, and what environment. And all of that really makes me so intrigued. So I think that's how I came across Semrush, my job, what I do every day. And it's really like my passion. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So therefore we see like a multicultural personality over here. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. I would definitely say so. And I feel like there's so many other cultures to to discover yet. I still haven't been like Far East. I have a couple of friends here from Russia, and we do have an office in Russia as well. So I haven't worked with Russians until now, and I definitely love working with them. Their structure is amazing, and that's honestly another reason why I love working in Semrush, because we have so many nationalities. It is insane. I've never been in a company that we're having coffee and then someone's talking Italian, someone's talking French, someone's talking Russian, Czech, and English and Spanish. And it's just, your brain is always so alert at so many times of the day that it's such a nice feeling to feel like you're really in a well-rounded world, not just stuck in like one bubble. Because I think the biggest thing, and this is a little bit off topic, but I recognized it, coming from the States, that people, and this is my personal opinion, I'm not saying everybody in the States is like this. It's like we live in a bubble there, we just focus on that market and just like making people there happy. And then we forget that there's a whole other planet basically outside of there. And it's incredible. So really, I feel like, and I've talked about this so many times, everybody that works in the States should move abroad for like a year or two to have just a better understanding of what goes around the world, because that will really just make you a better person and a better professional of what you do, because you're not just, your message doesn't just come across to one person, but maybe multiple or even millions across the world. And technically, we all want to pursue that purpose, that you're just not talking to one person, but multiple that can help. You can help throughout the world. So
yeah, awesome, perfect. So for me, one of the most exciting thing in the world for me, okay, as I would express my feeling toward that, is to discover other people, other mentality, other culture, religion, but also it is one of the most difficult thing to deal with in the corporate field. Okay, so there's manners that differs, tones of languages, like people would express themselves in a way, like British one, they just express the things in a different way. So that's very exciting to discover. That's extremely exciting for me to discover a new culture and a new mentality, way of doing things, and way of also visioning life. Okay, as well as far as we are co-creating our reality, but we are pretty much like we have some geographic barrier, but we should like try to fight this one and try to discover these new perspective of life.
Exactly. And I think the best way to do that is to live in a different location, because I've seen so many people that are like, yeah, I spent 1 month in this location. I'm like, but what did you do during that month? Did you talk to people within the location, or were you just like partying and drinking and eating? Like, how much culture did you really adapt to that? But yeah, like how you said, it's really important also understanding like the different languages of how you're handling things within the, not just corporate world, but when you're doing business or talking to other colleagues or even people that you're doing business with, that, like how I said in the beginning, maybe they said one thing, but they really mean the other.
Yes, perfect.
How they were taught. And there's no ill or bad intention. It's just, you have to understand that's how things are done there, or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it helps also in SEO with quote unquote SEO. Like people, like if we will go to Spain for saying car, they say coche, but if we go to Ecuador, I think they say carro.
Carro, exactly.
So also these things would like help you to improve like that's called the jargon of any country's language or specific industry, but it helps. It's extremely helpful in the marketing level, also in the cultural level.
Absolutely, that was such a great point. I definitely agree. Yeah.
Thank you. So Nicole, I would like to know before going to that question, I would like you to introduce Semrush to our community, for people who don't know Semrush. what are the goal of this platform, this beautiful platform, what is the mission, and how people can get more information about it.
Sure. So I'm not going to do like the sales pitch because I think we're just having a conversation here. So I'm not going to do the memorized spoiler. Yeah. But pretty much like I was saying in the beginning, Semrush is an online visibility management platform for your content marketing and all that sort. So for people that don't know about SEO, what that even means, I had no idea either before I started with Semrush. I was like, what the heck is that? So think about when you're Googling, I don't know, best pizza around me, and a lot of websites pop up within, we're just talking about Google. So you want to make sure, and you're the pizza owner, you want always make sure that you're in the top first page, top 3 to be more visible, because of course that brings more sales. So in order to get to those top 3 levels, you need to do a lot of different strategies. And what Semrush does is to help you understand the back end of what is going on in that on your website, so you can understand how to reach up to it, make it up to those that first page on Google when people basically type best pizza around me. It can be in various things, of course. It doesn't have to be about just pizza. It can be about a different service. As if you have a website and it's running somewhere and you're doing something, we have pretty much information on it. So we're I feel like a lot of people have the misconception that we create workflows for people to get there. But what we do is we gather the data for you to understand and analyze how your website is performing, so then you can create basically like a thesis or a scenario to understand how you can be better with your and create like a higher ranking within your website. So I know this is like a lot for people that don't really know SEO, but pretty much in small short summary, it's we help you understand what your website is doing negatively, positively, not just within your current location, but globally, so you can hopefully have higher traffic and also create content, which is a huge thing we're a huge advocate for. Creating content, we are basically focusing on like blogs, because I know the word creating content or the phrase could be, creating Instagram content, TikTok content, all that. So we're focusing just on blogs and what goes on a website. So yeah, we have different tools for that. Also, if you're going to be doing paid ads, we have a tool for that as well. We have a tool for social media. So pretty much it's like an all-in-one marketing tool. If you're just starting out with your website, I highly recommend it. Even if you're just at a beginner level, intermediate, expert level, it doesn't matter. We have so many educational forms and websites with different courses that you can take classes on, so you can really just understand how to rank number 1 for whatever you're trying to focus on. So yeah, that's pretty much all in short what we do as a platform. We're really growing incredibly. We just did OPI. We opened up this year, and yeah, I think we're just really always listening to the people that are using our tool and trying to update everything that they need, because they're the users. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I love about Semrush, is that we just don't ignore the user's comments. It's just the moment they say something, we're like, okay, this needs to be added on. Maybe we'll discuss it within a 1 or 2 months aspect and say, if it's necessary for a big enough niche, we should implement it. And I think that's one of the biggest things of why we've grown so much, and we keep growing. So I call our company very innovative, but fast and easy. And yeah, I see it growing every day more and more, and it's nice to be part of the ride.
Perfect. That's awesome. Very thorough explanation about Semrush. Pretty much, not so. And last episode, I had Bislawski. We were talking about the evolvement. So how search evolved during the time. New algorithms each time, new updates, new things to learn. So Google keep making noises each time we live in this live. So I want to have just a hint from you to explain to people how Semrush is dealing with this fast pace of changes and evolvement of Google and search engines in general.
Yeah, great question, actually, because I think that's really important, especially how nobody really can predict what Google is thinking.
Yeah.
So we have to just always be ahead of the game. I think it's a matter of always being out and listening. So as you listen what's happening and you kind of see a pattern of trends of what might be coming next within Google. But additionally, you have to understand that Google doesn't work for Google, but Google is really trying to work for the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're trying to understand what the user needs more than what companies need. They don't really care what a company needs. They care what the user needs in order to get their answers be answered, their questions be answered.
Yes.
Sorry. So I think not just listening to and being aware of the trends, but really just being aware of what the people need and how we're digesting content has changed and evolves every day. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why we're always innovative in a sense that we know what I don't want to say we know, because I don't think anybody ever knows anything for sure, but we try to always be aware of how people are now in a different trend digesting content, and we try to adapt to that. If it's digital format, if it's social media, if it's video format, if it's people also ask, is it different feature snippets, etc. So it's just, we're always trying to listen and stay up to date with how the users are interacting with content. And I think that's the biggest thing with an SEO that's necessary in order to stay up to date.
Awesome. That's a great response, great answer. As an influencer, marketing manager at Semrush, what are like the daily tasks that you are performing?
I'm a professional stalker. No, I'm kidding.
Really?
I always say that.
I should be investing in your.
No, every day, really, I love my job so much because I learn so much from the influencers. Every time somebody's like, oh, you're an influencer marketing manager, they think that I'm like, I don't know, selling or getting free like Cokes or I don't know, bikinis and this and that. I'm like, no, actually, I eavesdrop on like really smart people that sometimes I don't even know what they're saying. But I really, in reality, really, all jokes aside, I pretty much just like how we stay on with the trends with what people are talking. I do the same thing, but with our influencers. So I wouldn't even call them, and I don't like the word influencers nowadays. I would say more it's like thought leaders, because the influencers in our niche of SEO, they're not talking to talk because they want to be recognized for their likes and their dislikes, their retweets. No, whenever they talk and they say something, it's because they want to give knowledge to people that are trying to start out their business. So they're knowledgeable in the niche of SEO and content marketing and paid ads and Google's new updates, etc. So I think I just my day pretty much consists of talking with thought leaders, understanding what they're working on, what are their predictions. The stalking part is like just checking what content they're launching every day, keeping up to date what they are thinking, you know. And yeah, we have I think within Semrush we have a really nice relationship that I would say that we're friends with our thought leaders in the SEO world. I think it's very important, though obviously it is business, but I think initially it is that we have mutual respect with one another. So they respect our tool, we respect their voice, and we've always just had really great interactions and campaigns, etc. So we launched a couple of cool campaigns. We're trying to bring a little bit more trendy now. I'll say a little bit something. We might be doing something on TikTok, not yet, but we're trying to stay innovative. Additionally, we're trying to really give a space to female SEOs. I've been pushing so far for that, because I think that I know that there is women in tech and there is other women groups within the SEO community, but it is still like a male driven world. And Semrush is really giving a space for upcoming thought leaders or people that are, you know, getting their foot in the door, a space to shine pretty much. So that's something that we're currently working on as well, not just recently, but hopefully for the rest of the year and continuously.
Hopefully, yeah, that's great. So is there any difficulties engaging thought leaders? I think this is
Getting their
one
attention.
of your challenges.
Brian Dean, if you're seeing this, please respond back to my emails.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it is hard to get their attention, but it's kind of, I get it. You know, they're busy, they have things to do. So sometimes, yeah, to get a response email, it could take a little bit longer than you expect it to. But then you understand, to create just relationship. This is not a sales pitch. That's the first thing. If anybody's doing influencer marketing, it's I would recommend, of course, everybody will do different campaigns, and if there's money involved, because we don't pay our influencers, that it should be based core on our relationship. You know, it's a partnership, mutual. We help each other, and I think that's the biggest thing. But yeah, sometimes getting a hold of them can be a little tricky.
Tough. Yeah.
But it's all, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, like I see some like there's a strategies, of course. I think you are making your work based on some strategies and tactics. And some of the worst strategies I see people doing is going directly to an influencer and asking him, please do for me this favor. Please give me that thing. Please give me that, like, please share my content. Please. It is not like that as far as I'm concerned. It is pretty much like a long relationship that should be fed by the two parts, engaging each other, helping each other, and then the relationship is when it becomes that well-oiled machine, and then we can ask for a mutual change, an exchange for that. So do you agree with statements?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like being friends with someone. You know, when you have a good friend, you're like, hey, I'm moving my house, can you help me? This time it's like, yeah, of course I'll help you. And then the next time that you're moving, I know that I'll have someone to help me back. So that's why I pretty much make it like in a comparison, that it's like having a good relationship with a good friend, and, you know, but investing it both ways. It shouldn't just be a one-way relationship. Like, we help them when we can, of course, as much as possible to our ability, and vice versa. So definitely, I do agree with your points.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, influencer marketing is pretty much, it has its own challenges, of course, like people with the think that is a very easy busy job. I don't think so. Okay, if yes, so give him a chance to test it. And I would also, I know that you are more waged toward B2B influencers as far as you are operating in Semrush, but also I see some fake influencers in the B2C field, like anyone who wants to buy followers and try to ask for providing people stories or feed in exchange of some dollars. Okay, what are your thoughts about these practices, and how people and these people, how they could make it better rather than being fake?
So I mean, honestly, if someone is buying their followers, I would say don't do that, because we on our end, we know.
Yeah,
we can definitely see anything. We have tools to understand, not just, and honestly, to be really genuine, from the beginning, we don't even care about how many followers you have. Like, obviously there's a standard, but it's more about the authenticity of the word, and if it's being valued in the community. I'm just saying, within SEO, but within all communities. if you are being, or you want to be an influencer, or you are looking for an influencer with an influencer marketing, it's really important to value that the voice has a good engagement, because that really means that that person is being interacted with, and a lot of people follow the person's voice, suggestions, learnings, all that stuff, etc. So for people that are buying or selling, you can really tell nowadays that they have no authenticity, and or, I mean, this is just my opinion, like a lot of people sometimes publish post or content that's pre-published, and it's just like how to blah blah blah, and it's a link and then a picture, and you're like, come on, like you don't even
Yeah.
is that even your content?
Yeah.
Let's Of course, if you're just filtering out your content and that's just how you want it to be shown, just so we can have something, I've done it as well, of course, when you don't have time. But if you're trying to have a voice within your community, I would say really take the time, take the time to say what you as a person would say. Take the time to be really niche. And, if you want to just talk about SEO, focus on, even if you want to just talk about content marketing SEO or the technical SEO. And remember, the people that are reading, yeah, some content is nice and funny, but the niche, sometimes people want to either interact, learn, or laugh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. We people are just, that's what we want. So I think that that's also important, not just the followers and the fake followers, but the content that you're creating on your profile. And we, as influencer marketing managers, we look at that content too. We're not just like, oh, this has a lot of likes. Like, does it make sense? Is it within their niche? Because they could have a lot of likes, but maybe you rig those likes. So we'll know that there is not a lot of engagement,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about that, I couldn't understand why. Maybe I'm pushing this question extremely far, but I should be asking this question because I never understood this. I like Elon Musk when Elon Musk tweeting, or Gary V, just like something like an emoticon, an emoji, or something like that, which is not, doesn't have any sense, and we have million likes and tweets. How would you explain like this patterns, I would say?
Yeah. It's funny. My colleague told me the other day, she's like, I don't get it how some people just tweet like GM, like good morning.
Yeah.
And it's like 1,000 likes. And you're like, and that person doesn't even have like followers. Like, how does that trend even make sense? Well, obviously, I think if Elon Musk was not Elon Musk and he didn't have the profile of Elon Musk, and same with Gary Vee, maybe that tweet wouldn't really go viral. You have to think about, like, if Britney Spears says, oops, I did it again, someone's gonna it's gonna probably be like 1,000,000 likes, because it is within brand. So they already have a voice in general. If you're thinking about someone that doesn't really have a voice or is starting out, I would really just say it's luck, honestly, because it's probably just the algorithm of the specific social media platform that sometimes it just kind of, it's there, and then the way that it's filtered out really goes within niche. I would say kind of like how TikTok really does well with their FYP for you page, that maybe you click on one like of one specific content that really resonates with you, it kind of just brings you back the same thing and same thing again, kind of like Spotify. So of course people are going to interact with it more. It's like easier, like discover you.
Yeah, that's it. That must be. So Nico, what is like your favorite social media platform to reach and engage thought leaders?
For SEO, definitely I would say Twitter. Everyone lives on Twitter. Yeah. And to be super fair, I never had Twitter. I just started I think I opened my account like 2-3 years ago, and mostly because of my job. And it is another world, and I love it. I'm so obsessed with it. I'm like, how did I not get on this platform before? Because really it's just everybody's thoughts in one platform.
Yeah.
It's like, how did I know? Yeah, like, where did I miss out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but LinkedIn as well. But I think more authentically on Twitter. LinkedIn, I don't know if, nowadays if you've perceived it as well as a lot of people, it's very spammy that
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's trying to, I don't
yeah,
know, sell you something, pitch you something. So
yeah.
I don't want to be another person to pitch on there.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, yeah. That's great because also for me it was like in 4 years or 5 years ago I started using Twitter as well, and I only talked with people from the US, like the thought leaders there, because over here in Morocco, I think only a portion of people would use it, like 3% or 4% of the population. I don't remember the report that was produced by social media. I don't know. I don't remember the name. But the most prevalent social media platform in use in Morocco: Facebook, Instagram, uh, TikTok now, and lastly Twitter, LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So importantly, people, they are not aware of the opportunity that provides and offers Twitter to people, but maybe in the future we would be much
Yeah.
more keen on to use it more.
Yeah. I also think it's maybe because we put this like label on different platforms. Like I know I love TikTok. I love TikTok, not just because I love consuming the content, because I think people are so funny and they're so creative. And I'm just like, how do you do this in 60 seconds? But because of how great of an algorithm it has. It really is probably to me, and this is a personal opinion, how close it is the algorithm to Spotify. And I'm a Spotify fan, even though a lot of people like Apple Music, but really discover weekly after you have a complete niche of the music that you're listening to on Spotify, it picks up the same like different notes or something. I'm not really sure, and I'm probably butchering exactly how it is, but I'm pretty sure TikTok does the same thing. I swear to you.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is incredible. And I feel like a lot of companies and artists I've seen blow up just because of TikTok. Like they do one demo song even on their audio, and I'm already looking them up on Spotify and YouTube to see if I can find their song. And
oh,
they're not even publishing their song yet because
yeah,
they're not even artists. They're just like, oh, I'll just drop a 60-second voice
yeah,
note, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So there's a huge opportunity there for small businesses, definitely. So yeah, I'm definitely a huge TikTok fan.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. Consuming visual content is pretty much like the easier way for a consumer to enjoy using applications as TikTok or Instagram. And obviously, over here we have TikTok, like it is used in Morocco by a very like small uh, population of people. Normally they are teenagers, okay, in most of the cases. But I think also companies should be also using TikToks for promoting their products and services. Talking about promotion and companies, how I would like to question you how influencer marketing uh, is a great way for companies to improve and to perform well, and also to stand from the crowd.
Mhm. So I would say, I know it depends based on the business that you have. If it's product, obviously it's a little bit easier because you can just give the product for the influencer to test out, and they can give their honest opinion to their audience, and or they can take some content with specific, if it's like clothing or makeup, etc., or even if it's food, like it's something tangible, it's so much easier. But when we're talking about a software or something that you're implementing within your business, that kind of changes things a little bit, because it's not just a, oh, look at me, I'm going to be holding this and it looks nice. They
Mm.
actually have to test it. They have to use it in their everyday. They have to vouch for it. And that takes their time, you know, at least within Semrush. I believe I don't expect to get any feedback after even a month of usage, because I feel like there is so much information and you have to really understand how to digest it all, then to implement it, to see how to put it in your content or digital marketing strategy within 1 or 2 months, that I understand that it's a lot. But the biggest thing with an influencer marketing to promote like your service or even your software, I would say to just let them test it out,
Yeah.
implement it, give them the, and really give them the open space. And we do the same thing. We don't tell our influencers like we've never said that. Like you have to do this or do that. Never. It's, hey, we have this. Please share your honest opinion. Because at the end of the day, that's all we care about. Honest opinion about the content, honest opinion about our new platform, if it works or if it doesn't work, because we're not here to shine and make people think that we look nice, right? No,
Yeah.
we want people to actually help their business and their website run as smoothly and to optimize more. So if we're getting real feedback from the thought leaders that have been in the industry from 25, 30 plus years, or even the ones that are starting out because they have new fresh eyes that see things differently, that's what helps us the most. So I would say if someone's doing influencer marketing for a software, that they should start there, to give their thought leaders in that specific space some time to test out their platform and get their honest feedback, especially if it's raw and something you don't want to hear. It's what you need to innovate and change and update whatever you need to update.
Awesome. That's how many valuable information you just give us today. Thank you so much. I would like to shift upon the influencer marketing and go to the content marketing. How content marketing would help companies as well, and how it is related to influencer marketing, because after all, people want to have some authentic view about companies, okay? And providing great content, as we all know, content is king. Providing great content, authentic content, valuable content is great, and for me, the only way to perform and to stand from the crowd.
So, like you said, content is definitely king. But I'm going to connect to a point that I made in the beginning, that our content that we're writing, and I'm not saying like Semrush, anybody that is a content writer, they need to understand who they're speaking to. So sometimes a lot of people write thinking like, yeah, I know that I need to hear these 5 steps, so I'm going to write it. But are you writing it the way that someone that doesn't know about that yet needs to read it to understand it?
Yeah.
And that's why I love communications and talking and the whole culture aspect that I was talking at the beginning, to connecting it out to content, because it is so important to understand that the content you're writing, it is because someone is searching for that specific answer, right? And if you're not answering their question in a way that they can actually digest it, then your content is not going to do any good at all.
Yeah.
Like it's really not going to, like how you said, it's not going to help them with it's not answering their question. So same thing, if you're a business, if you want to be more recognized, more, I don't know, valued in that specific niche or that community that you're trying to be known in, if your content is not easily digestible for those specific people that are digesting it, it's just not going to go well. And I think we also have to understand that there's a lot of psychology involved in like content marketing or marketing in general now, and knowing and understanding the change of how nowadays we want to digest everything so fast, so easy. Like, and I'm sure everybody that when they have their phone and they're reading an article, it's usually the typical 3 scroll, you know,
They just skim the article.
Exactly. So if you're not answering that question in the 1, 2, 3, or something that really grabs the attention of whoever's reading it, that's it. Your content could be amazing. Harvard Press, you know, have 500 million API, God knows what. Yeah, backlinks and everything that you can think of. But if you didn't catch someone in that 1, 2, 3, gone, it's done.
Yeah.
So really, it's important to make that content consumable, and attention grabbing for whoever's trying to read that, to stay there. And then if once they like something, I'm sure they'll be back. So just being very consistent as well on the way that you're writing.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I want also to raise a point when talking about psychology behind the background of the content marketing. We use the F pattern, or the F shift pattern for articles. We know that people from psychology test that has been done. People just skim the article in a F shape. Okay,
Yeah, I actually read about that recently.
really awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So as you may know, most of the most important information should be on these places, so people will just skim it and find it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so interesting. I promise you, I think I just read it like a week and a half ago
Really,
or
I
something
should
like
be
that.
reading.
Yeah.
Just give us a
Yeah.
link.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look at, I forgot where I read it, but I know I saw it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Because there's many experiment has been done, and a heat map has been generated, and it
Mhm.
turns out that the F patterns, like the concentration, the density of the view, is pretty much focusing on the F patterns. Like people, they are not scanning the article, but they are skimming it in the F shape, and it's very important way to put your information or your offers or the most important thing that you want to promote or to offer to the visitors in this place. I would be keen on to read the article you just
Mhm.
write. It is in
Yeah.
Semrush blog or your own blog.
No, I think this was something that I just came across. Yeah, it was nothing with Semrush related. But
Okay.
I'll definitely, if I find it, I will send it over. Which is definitely, it's super interesting, like exactly the point you made. And at the beginning when we were talking, that you said that you guys also focus on UX. This is also a big thing nowadays, that I
Yeah.
think that you can have great content. If your UX is not there, people are gonna be like, this is so much, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to adjust it, and they
Yeah.
just run away,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Awesome. So my next question is because as you may see, Nicole is as we may see all Nicole is extremely passionate about her job. We all see that. We all feel that. I think you just an example. You have a great passion to your job, and I think you are an example for some of our employees here in Morocco. They have to go check Nicole, how she's talking about her job, how she's loving it, how she's just find passion, and she's that's great. That's a great example. I want for you to just provide us some tips for people who wants to climb the corporate ladder and also to enjoy their job, because as I might see from my experience, like people is going to job for the sole reason to get salary in the end of the month, and this is the worst thing you can do in your life, okay? Because
Yeah.
you will get your salary, but the month, all the months you will be like in hell, okay? And it wouldn't be in that way. People should enjoy, should like have a great love and passion to what they are doing and what they are investing their time and energy in.
Yeah, I so agree with that point so much. And I think you're not also not doing you good when you're not enjoying your life. You're not doing your mental health good. You're probably not doing your friends and family any good. And you're probably not doing the company any good, you know? So
Yeah.
there is no mutual interaction between both or any benefit on there. Um, so to answer the first question of how to jump on the corporate ladder or maybe just scale up, I think it's very important for people that are starting any job to really open the question and the conversation with their current leader and their HR personnel, like, these are my plans. Is there any room for growth? I think communication is key in that specific, and being very open and having that itinerary, like, hey, I definitely don't want to stay in this specific segment for this time. I would like to do X, Y, and Z by this time. Is it possible? And then to really, once you ask those questions and you bring them up, I think not only do they recognize that you have passion for what you're going to be doing, but also that if you probably need some experience in some specific area, that you know where you need to work on. If we complain that we don't like what we do, but then we don't know what we need to do in order to fix it, then how do we get there? It's impossible.
Yeah.
So opening the conversation before the beginning is very important. And I think it's one of the biggest things that I love about our company is that we have like evaluations and we have an open conversation, like, hey, like, how is it going? How's it not going, etc. And it's very transparent. So I would say that if there is an HR person listening, it'd be nice to implement that in your job, or a boss, a CEO, same thing. It's definitely, and the employees feel valued as well. And they feel like, okay, I'm going to be even more invested than what I was invested before because of that reason.
Yeah.
And being passionate with your work, I think it's really like, if you're not happy, period. It's not going to get any better. You're just like making it up in your mind that, oh, because I have a nice salary, it's going to be nice maybe in another month or another month. And then you see yourself in the whirlpool for 6 months and you're just like, what happened? I lost 6 months, and because you're just lost in the everyday, that you don't really, get that happiness that you expected to. So it's really, I think, setting yourself some 5-year goals, 10-year goals, even 1-year goals, and getting to know yourself and what you like and what you don't like. So then you can look that in a job. And what are your boundaries within a company? Because maybe you love what that specific company does, but if they don't set align with your core values, or they don't set the boundaries that you like, you're going to be miserable as well. So all those points are very, very important, I think.
Extremely important. Extremely important. Definitely. And also I could not understand, like, these persons, I would choose the right word, not operating, but they are living in a company for many, many, many years. Okay, same company for 10 years or 11 years. So I should be saying they are living, not operating. I couldn't understand, like, yes, people, like, they are in the comfort zone. They are like making the same thing day to day. But I think that's the killing point for a successful career for an employee, or
definitely. And I think just because I don't know, I think we noticed it now, specifically with the pandemic, that I think this past year just like, it just like vanished in front of our eyes. So we really noticed that time just passes by every day, especially if you're not doing something or you are doing something, you forget where it is. So I think people really need to be actionable on, if they want change, if they don't like something, no one's going to do it for you. So you have to kind of like make that step forward.
Obviously. Perfect. So before going to the last part, last question in the corporate part, like, what are any tips for companies all over the world to boost their marketing efforts, the marketing activities, from different perspective, like in digital marketing, analog marketing, so marketing in general? Any tips for these companies to go beyond, like, the classical way and open themselves to a new way of doing things, like digital marketing, like web psychology and other things?
I would say to not try to implement the same thing that you implement in one country to the next. It's going to change completely. So I see a lot of people kind of packing up a box of a marketing strategy in one specific place, and they're like, oh, it works, so let's make it work the same. It's like a recipe, and then thinking that you're going to bring that recipe and bring it to a different country just because it's a same language. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And I would say really understand the market all like really, really well. And then from there, maybe take the basis of what you have and you see that has worked because you already have people that have worked on that specific strategy. So they already just kind of need to maybe outline in detail different things, but then adapt to what is needed and know that change is always good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I feel like a lot of people are like, no, but it worked, and they keep trying and trying and trying. I was like, marketing is going to change. Marketing is always changing. Let's start.
Yeah.
Always changing. So
Yeah.
I think once we let go of that boundary and that frustration that why is this not working? Like someone is growing on Twitter and we're not, someone's getting amazing likes on Instagram and we suck, but our LinkedIn page is doing well. It's okay. Like you don't have to conquer all platforms at the same time. It is impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it'll be possible to do it in the long term, but focus on one thing and maybe that one thing works in one specific region and then another thing will work in the other. So I would say play around, have your key points of what connects with your core value as a company. And of course, you don't want to let go of that because at the end of the day, that is what makes your company authentic. But then to adapt to their surroundings, because really you're talking to a completely different country, culture, region, etc.
Yeah, very important point that you just raised. Yeah, obviously. Just from my testing, like we were drop shopping with some of our clients. Like the strategy you are implementing in Facebook ads for like Czech wouldn't be the same for Croatia or Poland or other country. You just, yes, that's working great for that kind. In Dubai, that's working great. You are making some good sales, but duplicating that to Morocco or maybe to Spain or Portugal, that would be different.
It is different. Yeah. I have actually a really funny story about that.
Yeah.
I also do events for fun because I just love events.
Okay.
And when I moved to Prague, we were putting up an event with a couple of friends here, or like an art exhibition / music event. And they wanted to list it on Facebook events.
Okay.
And I looked at them like, you want to put it on Facebook events? Like that's so weird, because in the States it's very strange, like if you put an event on Facebook events, it's probably like a family reunion, like 50th birthday or something like that. I was like, what? I don't understand it. And they were like, yeah, that's where we have to be. And I fought with them so hard because I was like, no, people are not going to come. And they were like, Nicole, you have to like, remember, you're not in the States anymore. You're somewhere else. This is what works in the Czech Republic. We want Czech customers,
Yeah.
And they were right. I was absolutely wrong. But of course, I was stubborn and I didn't want to do exactly what I just said. And I learned that way. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people have to learn the way that I had to learn. So
yeah. That's quite funny. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, that's extremely important to have like an eye, and also like people when writing a marketing plan for a company. They just like one of the most important things is to like first of all having the buyer persona in front of us, and then this buyer persona, like where these people are engaging, in which platform, okay, which content they are consuming, what are the content tone, what is the content tones, what are like the different like criterias we can like find out to improve like their mission. So this is one of the most important question that many of my previous experience I hadn't asked before, and I had a direct failure. And yeah, so we learned from that, and we became much more aware that there's a multicultural way, and we have to find out where people they are engaging, what they are liking, what they are disliking, and why, because the why is very important. So the reason behind it. So now I want to, like, we have two last questions. Your motto in life.
My motto in life.
Yeah.
I would say to go where it's the scariest for you to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's hard.
yeah,
That's
that
intense.
yeah, I think that's where we're probably going to always grow the most.
Yeah.
So I think that's always been my biggest motto, because if it's something that's going to be easy and comfortable, I mean, this is just my personality, but if it's something I love to feel uncomfortable, because that's where I've grown the most. So yeah,
That's a great motto. Yeah, that's the only way to improve. Okay,
Mhm.
that's the only way to improve.
Absolutely.
For me,
Absolutely.
being in your comfort zone for decades, you would be like a dead person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So last word from Nicole and how people could reach you.
Sure. So my last words, I would want to say, whoever is starting out, don't give up. I know marketing is really difficult, and we read, consume, and see so many people that are so ahead of us, but your voice will always be just your voice. So just keep growing, keep learning, keep developing. There's so much out there. We're really living in an innovative time that we have so much to play with. So don't get overwhelmed either. So take it one step at a time, because we can be extremely consumed with everything that's out there. So just take it one goal at a time, but it's definitely doable for all.
Poco a
And to have
poco.
fun. Sorry.
Poco a poco.
Yeah, poco a poco, exactly. And to have fun, mostly all of it, because if you're not having fun and then you die tomorrow, what's going to happen? You're going to be so annoyed that you didn't enjoy your last day living. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I would say.
Yeah.
And for whoever wants to find me, I'm on Twitter at Nicole C. Ponce. Ponce is Ponce. On LinkedIn, same thing, Nicole Ponce. My last name is Ponce.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome. Thank you, Nicole. That is a
Oh,
great
it was
pleasure to
such a
have that talk.
pleasure.
Yeah, that's a great. We would like to thank you for. I represent the Moroccan community, so we would like to thank you for the information you just and the valuable insights you just provide us. That was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. I had so much fun. Thank you for having me on.